What's up, beautiful people? It is your hunger, Shameless, all up in your laptop, your desktop, your cell phone, television, iPad, something. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are watching this on. Yes, I have different hair. I got my hair braided. If you want to know, check out in the comments section. Her name is Erica, and she hooked me up, so I'll tag her in the info box below. But I wanted to chat with you guys. It's been a minute. How are y'all? I celebrated my 5-year YouTube anniversary this weekend. That's why my hair looks like this. I really wanted to show up. The fact that my hair is even long enough to be braided, progress. But yeah, I had lots of fun. I had lots of fun at the party. I was anxious, but seeing your faces, you guys were all chill, all cool, made me feel good. I wish I got to spend more time with you guys, my friends. Some of my friends that came, I didn't really get to say hi, but thank you guys for coming through, supporting your girl. For someone who's anxious around a lot of people, I have a lot of events. I like to throw game parties and parties in general because I have a big extended family and I miss that. I miss my cousins. Cousin Jay is he's in a show in Seattle. It's called Here Lies Love. So if you're in Seattle, make sure you check it out. I also have another friend, my friend Linda. She's in a show in Vegas. Magic Mike Live. She's in it. I'm using the Smashbox palette. I really like this. Is my everyday go-to palette. The Ablaze Eye palette. I love it. This weekend was lit. So I'm gonna have another one in New York this summer. And I had a lot of questions from you guys on the panel. And one question I didn't get to address that someone asked me after was how to build confidence. That was one of the questions. There was a lot of good questions. Confidence isn't in my vocabulary, or it wasn't, and it's only coming into my vocabulary recently or lately because a lot of people say I'm confident. But to me, confidence is knowing what you're doing. Educated. That's to me what confidence is. And confidence comes from doing. So the more you do something, the more you know, and the more you know, the more confident you are. So when people say you're so confident on camera, for me it comes from doing it a lot. So I may not be good at it in the beginning. That was actually me public speaking. I used to be a nervous wreck. That was one of my biggest fears. But now that I've been in YouTube online culture for 5 years and have had to speak on panels and improvise and speak in public, I am not terrified. So if you're not confident in something, whether it's your schoolwork, whether it's wearing a certain outfit, it will come the more you do it. You can fake it till you make it. That's what I did. I'm nervous, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm gonna just fake it. I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what? I'm gonna do the best I can with what I know, with what I have. And in the 5 years that I've been on YouTube, have I changed? Has YouTube changed me? And the answer is I have changed. YouTube didn't change me, life changed me. I used to let men, as an example, walk over me. And I shouldn't say men in general, I should say my significant other. I just didn't have any boundaries. I didn't have, I don't want to say I didn't have any self-respect, because that's I had self-respect. I just didn't have any boundaries, and I just wanted to be nice. And that's, I think, a mistake a lot of nice/Christian people, not all Christians, because there are some shady Christians out there, they mistake kindness for take advantage of me. And that's something that I do not allow or tolerate. And it's not so much the other person, it's me. I need to know what my boundaries are, what I'm okay with, because once I know that, I can affirm those guidelines to other people. But it's not about this person is taking advantage of me, this person is doing that. It's no, Maya, you didn't create your guidelines. So I have changed in terms of how I look at myself. And again, that comes with years experience. Now, when it comes to relationships, I need to know what my boundaries are. And I've been learning that in my relationship with my bae. He's so awesome. If there's one thing I can tell women or men watching this is get you a bae who is positive and supportive. And the way that happens is if you are positive and supportive. So if you're a negative person, whoever you attract in your life is a mirror reflection of where you're at in your life. I'm just so happy that I've attracted an amazing man. I'm using this palette. I'm using this brown to blend. But yeah, because I would meet these assholes and I'm like, this guy's an asshole, this guy's that, this. And it's like, well, girl, you got some work to do because who you attract is a reflection of where you're at. And so the fact that I've met a positive, inspiring, uplifting, strong, fine man, he is a grown man. It makes me really feel good because that's a reflection of me and where I'm at. And yes, opposites attract, but like attracts like. Frequencies attract the same frequency. So to me, it's an indication that Maya, you're on the right path. And finally, for once in my life, I shouldn't say for once in my life, but I really feel that I'm winning. And relationships, money, respect, clout, all of that is, yes, that's amazing. But it's like all the hard work that I put in is like manifesting. And it's crazy because I wasn't winning. I was losing a lot, and everything that could go wrong in my day would go wrong in my day. It's just really cool that that's not me anymore. And it started with my perception of myself. It started with me looking, what the, girl, you beating your face and you trying to cry out here? Girl, get it together. Good thing I didn't do my makeup yet. Didn't do my foundation yet. Ugh. But yeah, it started with me, and it started with, what do I think of myself? Do I value myself? And if it's negative, what work do I need to do to make sure I can turn that around? And it really started with cutting trash out of my life, whether that was watching trash TV, hanging around different type of folk. For me to stop gossiping, and I didn't even view it as gossiping, but I just viewed it as like, oh, I want to tell you about a story. Trick. Shut up. Not chasing a bunch of people or friends in my life, just growing the relationships and investing in the people that I have in my world right now. And if you don't have any, and if you're the type of person who complains that, oh, and so forgot my birthday, or so and so did this to that, just be a good friend and don't judge or hold it against them. Either get rid of that person or just do and be better, because like attracts like. Yes, opposites attract, but more often than not, those opposites are really similar. So yeah, the reason why I brought up Bae is because we do have disagreements where we don't see eye to eye. And there are things that I do or things that he does that I do not tolerate. And it's important to know what that is for yourself so you can articulate it in a healthy way to someone else. And I'm happy that our fights aren't like, I used to break stuff. I'd break shit and kick stuff and punch walls. I don't do that anymore. I think that's good for my eyes. I did a whole lot. Let me just put on some eyeliner. I'm so busy in life, chasing, building, making things, that I don't have time for drama. The more focused you become on your goals, which is why it's important to have goals and work towards them, because the less likely you will be to fall into drama. Oh gosh, let me just do this. I love me this NYX liner. There is no liquid liner that I find better. Okay, sorry, I had to just do the eyes. Just get it over with. Drama will still happen, even to the most positive of positive people. So the more you could just focus in on what needs to be done, when drama does hit, you're like, I don't have time for you because I'm on this track. So the less energy you can give to the things that are trying to distract you in life, the more efficiently you can get to your goal? That was a good question at the event. What if I'm happy and content, or how do I balance being happy and content with hustling and to continue to grow? I think it's do what makes you happy, and hustling makes me happy. I also think priorities are important because I used to hustle so much. And I will say this, for my part in my failed marriage, my priority wasn't my husband. I was just too young. I shouldn't even say young. That was not my priority. My priority was work, because I was trying to work really hard to get us out of the hood so we could start a family. So that was my focus. I was part of the problem, is what I'm trying to say. But that's because my priorities weren't straight. Now that I'm in a relationship, I've had talks with my boyfriend about what my priorities are. And so long as he understands and is accepting of that, then we're all good, which he is, because he's a worker bee like me. Goals are important. Priorities, to-do list. I live off of to-do list. Oh my goodness, speaking of which, it's not a list, but it's my Shameless Manifesto poster. You guys, it's available. I had a poster years ago, and I was like, you know what, I really like this, but I want something that's more in line with my vision, my beliefs and stuff that will keep me on track. So I made my own Shameless Manifesto to help me stay on track on my goals. And to stay on track, I gotta write it down. I have to have a timeline, and I have to give up a distraction. So it could be drama, whatever the case is, write it down. Look how fabulous this poster is, my Shameless Manifesto. So make sure you guys go cop one and support the Shameless movement. And has fame changed me? I wouldn't say it's changed me, but it's made me more aware. I'm worried about people's safety. So when I have a friend or a family member in my video, I'm just really concerned, which is why I stopped vlogging, or part of why I stopped vlogging. Because I want to protect my family and stuff, and I don't ever want anything to happen to them. I still want to interact with people and meet you guys. But before, I used to be way more open, like, oh, let's exchange numbers, or oh, let's go hang out. I was younger and I just didn't have as many responsibilities in my life. Now that I'm older, I have responsibilities. I have family and friends that I already have high on my list of people I need to invest in, that I don't necessarily have so much room to meet new people. So I'm not going to be like, hey, take my number, let's hang out. Usually the times that I do that, it's work related, because I'm a hustler. She's baking. I'm using this new Ultra HD Makeup Forever powder to set. Has money changed me? I'm probably less penny pinching than before. I definitely am less penny pinching, but I definitely still am constantly concerned about money. Like I have way more issues I have to address, and financial responsibilities like staff and taxes. What the heck? The good thing is I used to be very stressed out about money, and I could very well. I should be more stressed out now because I have way more financial responsibilities. Like 5 years ago, it was just me, my rent, my credit card. Now it's my office, my home, my car, insurance, 5 in-house staff, and then I have a team outside of my office, like my lawyer, my business manager, my agent, my manager. There's just so much. So I definitely am still stressed out when it comes to money, but at least I try not to cry about it. Literally, I try not to cry about it because it gets scary, guys. It gets scary. How else have I changed in the last 5 years? I'm not ashamed anymore. Like, I live that life. I got my brows microbladed, guys, so that right now I didn't have anything. I just am using this Makeup Forever. Oh my goodness, this Makeup Forever brow liner is life, okay? This is life. I put a couple strokes and I brush it out. Now, because I know what shame and fear does, and it stops you from living your best life, when I come to a crossroads where I'm afraid or ashamed, I'm like, nope, push through it. So I'm more open to a lot of opportunities because I say yes. I don't like telling lies. I never really did. Like when I was in high school, I used to lie to my mom a lot about where I was going. And it was hard to remember the lies because I lied so much. And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Let me just tell her the truth so I can deal with her backlash now than later, because the truth always comes out. That applies to my life now because I don't want to lie to myself first and foremost. Lying to yourself can come in the form of scrolling through social media and seeing what everyone else is doing and wanting to do what everyone else is doing because you're allowing their likes and wants to tell you what you should like and you should want. I think it's important to be honest and real with yourself. And if you're mad that your career isn't taking off like so-and-so, are you pursuing a career because you actually want to? Or are you doing it because everyone else is doing it so you think you should? And I feel like social media can mess people up in that sense because everyone's doing something and some of us are doing a lot of the same things, that if we continue to promote that, it can mess a young person's mind up because they want, or not even young, it can mess anyone's mind up. And even me, I'll see people posting things like Coachella. Everyone's in Coachella. I was just like, oh man, should I have gone? And I'm like, no, you don't even want to go. You're tired. You need to rest, you hot foot. You just went to Trinidad. It's important not to live that whole FOMO life, not being afraid to miss things, not being afraid to step into something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, that you've been putting off because you're afraid, or I don't know what that is for you, but I would say taking that first step is the scariest. It's just heavy. It's just a lot of work, guys. But you know what? If it wasn't, everyone would have it. And I'm telling you, it just starts with you. If you are ready for change, which I was so ready for change. I was just like, I am done with this life. I used to be a frugal artist. Now I'm a shameless artist. And for those of you that know what I'm talking about, hashtag below Team Frugal Artist. But I was all about the struggle life and making it creative and fun. And I still think there's a lot to be said about that. That was just part of my journey. And then the change that I made from that was to be a creative, shameless, frugal artist. But I'm shameless. I really like this Marc Jacobs eyeliner. They sent me a bunch of eyeliners and they're nice and smooth. Oh, the biggest change for me is working with staff, growing my team. That has been the biggest change by far, because I never thought I could get what was in here out and communicate with other people. I never thought I could do it. But I've had really great help. My staff at House of Shameless, who's probably editing this as we speak, they've been amazing at deciphering what I mean when I talk, because I'm not completely articulate. I'm just like, yeah, just some of this and like use that in the beat and some light, a lot of sound effects, and somehow they get it. So for all those entrepreneurs that are watching, there comes a point when you don't need to do it alone anymore. The money that I made from YouTube, and not necessarily YouTube, I never really made that much money from YouTube. So all these YouTubers that are complaining that their revenue went down, I'm like, mine stayed the same. It didn't. I just never relied on it. I've always relied on brand deals. And even that, I want to stop relying on brand deals, which is why I want to sell merchandise that's promoting my message, my brand, and not necessarily, although the first production company I worked with, the turnover there was really high. The staff were always afraid. We were always afraid because the owner was just really stressed out, and because he was really stressed out, he was really mean. I said I don't want to be like that. Yes, things are stressful. I just don't want to lash out. I try my best not to. Your team is your tribe, your people, whether it's growing a network of friends at church or at school or outside. I always say, be a part of a lot of communities. I always had weekend swimming, synchronized swimming. I made friends there. I had friends at school. I had friends at dance class. I always have this nature of being around people. Life is more fun when you can share it with people. Oh, okay, so these are House of Lashes that I got at a Nike event. Nike event and they had lashes. What is life? Makeup look done, guys. I should come back and glue them on. You guys, change is good. Change is inevitable. Don't be afraid to change. You won't change who you are at your core, but Don't be afraid to change or question your perspective. If you're not happy with where you are, if you believe that you should be in a different, better space, be open to change. Change is good. If you're in a toxic relationship, you're always breaking up, getting back together again, breaking up, getting back together. Names are being called, or maybe there's even abuse. Girl, do not listen to words, look at actions. When I die, when I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna smile. Or even when I'm in heaven, I'm gonna smile because I'm like, you know what? I freaking maximized that life. I freaking did that. I did that. And it wasn't about what I had. It's about what I did with what I had. I did a whole lot. And then I got more. And I got more. And then I got more. But it was because I got creative with what I had, which wasn't much. I didn't have much to begin with. If you want to figure out how to get your life, I have so many videos on how to get your life because I want to share with you guys the secrets. Well, let me just put on some lip gloss. We're going to do a look. We're going to do a lippy. Let's do a still lippy. Let's just do it. Which one is this? Cream Sheen Glass. I've been using a lot of makeup forever. Okay, I got this thing from Cover FX. This illuminating spray. It has like a nice misty sheen. If it leaves a chunk on you, it's because the spray isn't coming out as... Oh, I mean, I just can keep going. This smells so great. Baby hairs! Baby hairs is like the new eyebrows. I usually use a toothpaste. Toothbrush! I think I left it in my car because sometimes I do my hair in my car. I'm using Perfect Edges by Cream of Ether. And for now, I will use this. If you guys want real change, write it down. It starts with, you don't have to write it down. I think words are very powerful in writing, but maybe you operate better living in your head. I doubt it. Write it down. Put it on a piece of napkin, get yourself a shameless manifesto, and make a promise to yourself. I made a promise to myself 5 years ago that I was gonna abandon shame and fear and live my life and my dreams out shamelessly. And I did that, and I'm never looking back. If I could do it, you can do it. And the crazy thing is, you can change your life. You can change your life, not someone else. You. That's an edge if I do say so myself. Try not to look so much at what other people are doing. If it's hurting you, look at what people are doing to inspire you. And life it's journeys and chapters. Enjoy where you're at. When I was really broke, when I would eat ramen noodles for dinner and lunch and everything else, I loved it because I was like, I knew I wasn't going to stay there. And I guess I had that much faith in myself because I knew this was just temporary. I don't know how I knew, but I told myself this can't be it, and it wasn't. Girl, are you giving yourself a Donald Trump comb over with your baby hairs? Shit. Could you imagine Donald Trump with baby hairs? Okay, that's a look. Ooh, she just needs her earrings and she is good to go. We can either do it like this or like this and put on her shirt, Maya. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Hit the subscribe button. Like this video if you liked it. Comment below. Let me know what you're watching on. What other chit chat videos you'd like me to address. And for all the info on what I was using, info box. Turn notifications on. I upload videos every Tuesday evening. So tune in here Tuesday evenings. When I say evening, I live in Los Angeles. So keep that in mind if you're in London or Germany or even Asia, some parts of Asia. But yeah, remember to do you, be you, and stay true, boo. Be